So today we have with Mr. Srini Gurrapu. I would like to introduce him and welcome him to our monthly call. Srini is an entrepreneur building companies specializing in cyber security and cloud. He's a passionate about yoga and has trained in several yoga and spiritual schools. Srini has participated in the USA Yoga for a 2017 National Championship in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Srini works with several nonprofit organizations, particularly Pure Online, empowering underprivileged kids with education and basic facilities in India. He's also a team member at Eka Shri Schools of Yoga, promoting unity means Eka and prosperity means Shri for everyone through the yogic excellence. Today, he will be talking about yoga for youth entrepreneurship and excellence. Please welcome Mr. Srini Gurrapu.
So thank you so much, Srini, for joining this call. Mr. Gurrapu is a wonderful friend and a special friend because a lot of interest, common interest that we have, yoga and nonprofit and everything. He has a unique perspective. I don't want you kids to run away when you hear the word yoga or anything. He's going to make a different approach on that one, and I'd rather let him kind of introduce himself to this, but he's been a great Ekam supporter for all the work we do, as well as in other things that he's going to talk about. Thank you, Srini, for coming to this call for EVA.
Absolutely. And thank you, Dr. Niyama. And what a fantastic team, EkamYouthUSA. And I'm looking at the attendance at about 59 or 57 kids that show up, on a Saturday morning, and, on a purpose that's beyond each one of us, to be able to, how do we make a difference in people's lives, that are underprivileged. And I'm super inspired with Nilima, Dr. Sai, and the entire EkamYouthUSA team. I wish I had this level of maturity and the commitment and maturity when I was young. Having said that, the journey of learning never stops. So thank you for the opportunity to be with you all. And before I begin, I always start with one small chant. Allow me to sing one chant. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamayam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Well, I'm sure many of you have heard this chant in different times. I call this as an entrepreneur anthem, entrepreneurship anthem. How does this anthem that we hear is an entrepreneur anthem? So in fact, the first line, what it actually means is asatoma sadgamaya. Asat means in Sanskrit, it's known as untruth. And then Sat means truth. Our journey for each one of us is always going from untruth to the truth. So what is untruth? What is untruth? Untruth is something that is not an excellent state. Like, for example, if you're not unhappy, if you're sad, or if you're suffering, either for us or people around us. Anytime when there is inefficiency, any inefficiency, whether that could be in the healthcare, whether that could be in the education, whether that could be in the COVID or within our own being, that is literally an untruth state. And then we, as an individual, as our individual being, as an entrepreneur, we're always constantly going from an inefficient state to an efficient state. So if you look at it, and that's how the third line says, Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. All of us, we all have a finite time on this planet. But this entrepreneurial journey allows us to become infinite. We transcend the boundaries of our physicality, our body, our time, and our space, and we can actually become infinite. How? By fighting for converting inefficiency to efficiency or the truth. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. It's always about looking for problems and looking for that as the greatest opportunities. And then by converting from that inefficient state to efficient state, we profit. How is the profit? And of course, sometimes we always measure it by, equity and then, market cap and $1 billion. But the real profit is excellence for us and excellence for the people around us. And that is what yoga is. Yoga is not what we do on the mat, trying to, touch the toes or, do the back bends. Sometimes we refer to that as, people come onto the yoga journey looking for a trinket. The trinket is touching the toes. But then in the journey, we find that treasure. We find that treasure. In fact, every entrepreneur, a little bit about myself. I'm now the CEO of a startup called Clean Software, which is a company that allows anybody with no programming skills to become an application builder. They can build the software that they want. And that's very important in today's digital world. So what is the inefficient state? Inefficient state is people who do not have coding skills. But how do we allow them to participate in the digital revolution? So me being part of a CEO of a startup, I'm a yogi. I'm not touching my toes, but literally I'm building a company to help those people who do not have any coding skills to become successful and successfully participate in the digital transformation. That is what yoga is. So by all of you participating here this morning, in fighting for the excellence of those underprivileged, just without having to be on the mat, just by being on Zoom call, you all become yogis. You all have become entrepreneurs. You all have become entrepreneurs. So my journey, before this startup as the CEO, I was also one of the vice presidents at one of the divisions at Apple. And previously, I have also been part of about 7 successful startups. So, but all this knowledge, I had this misperception that yoga is always about, touching the toes or looking for the back bend. It's all the gymnastics kind of a thing. But the true realization for yoga is to cultivate that entrepreneurial mindset, that we are always fighting, we are always pursuing the journey where we are looking for that inefficient state, either within us, around us, within our family or in the community, and looking that as an opportunity and bringing that into an excellent state. That's what yoga is. But what is the biggest capital that we have to get there? If you look deeply, the biggest capital for any entrepreneurial journey is our body and our mind. This is the biggest asset that we all have, the body and the mind. If these are the assets, if they are not in the perfect equilibrium position, no matter what you try to do, you may not really succeed. And even within the body and the mind is the biggest asset that we have. In the yogic philosophy, we actually look at the mind in 5 states. And I know I'm surrounded by a lot of doctors here. So if I'm not trying to get into any technicality, but in the yogic philosophy, we look at the mind in 5 fingers. This is the level of medical knowledge that I have, 5 fingers. So if you look at it, our mind is, we can actually say this is like the pinky finger. We call this as a monkey state of mind. So it's a distracted mind. It's constantly jumping around. When we are on the Zoom call, you're always thinking about what is for the lunch today, or what did I do tomorrow? How is the weather going to be in Costa Rica tomorrow? I'm actually going to Costa Rica tomorrow. So this is the monkey mind, the pinky mind, right? And then the 4th finger, we call this as a donkey mind. Donkey mind is something that is, it's just always in the slumber. Why do I have to get up in the morning? What is the problem? Which is like it's in that state of lethargy. And then this is the thing called, we call this as the middle finger, we call this as a butterfly mind. Sometimes it's very exuberant, it flies and everywhere and this stuff, but then it doesn't sustain it for long. Then it again goes back to being a monkey or a donkey mind, right? Do we all believe, that we all go through this stage of monkey, donkey, and butterfly? That is, again, that's a level of medical knowledge that I have, but this is how the mind works. And then we have 2 states of mind. One is the pointed finger. This is what we call as an ekagra mind, the one that is a focus mind, the focus mind. When you are singularly focused on what you're trying to do, right? No other distractions. So that means you're always exuberant. And then this is the thumb. This is the harmonious mind, harmonious mind. Yoga is always about getting into this state, our state of being into. And I call this as a bingo. A kid taught me that, this gesture is known as bingo. So focused mind, harmonious mind, the pointed finger and the thumb. So literally, yoga is all about organizing our mind to be in this state of fully focused and fully harmonious. With whatever we are doing, in whatever the action that we are doing. And then the magic happens. When you're able to organize your mind into this focused and harmonious mind, then the universe surrenders to you. And that's when the entrepreneurial pursuit, whatever we are trying to do, the universe surrenders. The purpose that you're in, it yields to you. It yields to you. And that's the secret of yoga. And in the Sanskrit world, we call this as samyama. Samyama is the secret to excellence. Anybody that has a focused and harmonious mind with whatever we are doing, and then Sage Patanjali, who created this Yoga Sutra, wisdom, he basically said like, samyama is the secret to excellence. That's one the universe yields to you. And we see this all around. In every entrepreneurship gig and everything that we've done, only the victory chose those people that always stayed in focused and in the harmony. The people who exhibited the monkey, donkey, or butterfly, they've only come up with partial results. And if you've always been a donkey, you end up being a donkey. So that's the secret of it. The yoga is not really about the bends and the moves. It's all about how you can pursue excellence in whatever we are doing in a harmonious way. In a harmonious way. So that is what yoga is all about. It's about the entrepreneurship and pursuing excellence. And then the postures are means as a technique. Like, for example, the postures are designed so that when you're on the mat, the real minute details about where your toes are, align your toes, align your elbows, align your fingers, focus your eye gaze one thing. So these are all the techniques to help that build the focused mind and the harmonious mind. And you can actually achieve this in many other ways. Like if you're doing a painting, or if you're doing music, or if you're doing any one of those, there's all the similar tools, So I would want all of you, to join me and all of us in a journey where we are constantly striving for excellence within ourselves and with the people around us. And in fact, I'm here to learn from you that you're already on this yogic journey and the entrepreneurial spirit. But let's not have any boundaries. Let's not be sure. We are of infinite capacity. We can pursue many things. EkamYouthUSA, if you want, you can actually succeed, whether you want to be in the field of medicine or engineering or pursuing, arts or any form. Our true identity is pursuing excellence. And this is a journey. And while you're doing that, we need to celebrate the journey, not the outcome. We need to celebrate the journey because that's where the harmony is. And I have two daughters. My daughter used to tell me, which is like she got into Stanford and then she got into some top honors. And then she said like, after the award, it's empty. There is nothing there. That's a very small, tiny moment of an award and this stuff. But the beauty is in the journey. And that's why the word is also coined very beautifully. It starts with J-O and ends with Y. That's the joy. Journey is the joy. So I'm here to, partner with each one of you. And I'm sure, some of you would start some companies. I would love to come and work. I'll make sure that I'll make myself credible and useful to work for you. And together, there are so many opportunities around us in the field of healthcare, education, financial inequality. And, so many of these opportunities are in front of us. And we are uniquely gifted, particularly you as the youth are uniquely gifted to take on this entrepreneurial journey, to continuously go from asat to sat, asatoma sadgamaya, and then that's how we become infinite. And today we all talk about Gandhi, Buddha, or even Steve Jobs, the Apple. We remember Steve Jobs not because he's alive, because he become infinite with an iPhone. And what a footprint. So we are all here to create those footprints. So take the path of yoga to pursue your entrepreneurial thing, constantly striving for excellence within your world and outer world. And it simply comes down to this. Always comes down to the bingo: focused mind, harmonious mind. So that's all I have. Thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Nilima and the EkamYouthUSA team. And thank you for allowing me to participate in EkamYouthUSA. In fact, we've been working on several projects to create this impart the entrepreneurial and yoga education to many underprivileged kids in India. And I sincerely thank each one of you to allow me to express myself and be part of it. So we created a small, a budding organization called YAC, Youth Excellence Center, which is to cultivate this focused and harmonious mind. If any of you are interested, please join our program. And with EkamYouthUSA, we can share our knowledge and continue this journey. Thank you.
Srini, please mention the project that you're trying to do now with the Ekam Foundation for Lead India. Maybe a couple of details about what it is.
Yeah, so we're doing a pilot program in one of the mandals in Warangal district. So there are about, we're targeting about 2,500 students and about 250 change agents. And the goal is in each one of these schools, and we've already conducted in some schools about the Yoga Foundation. So we are actually doing 3 programs. One is Yoga Foundation as a program, which is a 20-hour program. And then there is an Entrepreneurship Foundation where we talk about the entrepreneurial capabilities, everything from how to go from sight to insight to vision, which is what I refer to as a think muscle, to be able to go look at a state and then see where that inefficiency is, and then to be able to conceive what is that efficient state is. That is what an entrepreneurial capability, which is called the insight or the think muscle. And then we also teach kind of an execution capability. Once you know what the outcome is, how do you plan, and what are the actions and the metrics, what are the business plan and the execution that you need to do. And then the last one is the character muscle. So, which is the human transformation. But we want to do this with the right universal human values. It's not about just building the wealth for ourselves. We have to do that with the right path. So what we are doing is we're doing these 3 programs: Yoga Foundations, Entrepreneur Foundations, and the program that is a program that is created with Dr. Kalam and Dr. Sudarshan Acharya. It's called Lead India Foundation. That's all about imparting the right universal human values. So we are actually doing this within one mandal as an initial pilot, targeting about 2,500 students. And then once the pilot is done, again with the Ekam partnership, we're going to expand it to almost all the mandals in the Warangal district. And based on that results, we would then go to get more the nationwide.
Yeah, thank you so much for the nice summary and how nicely you incorporated the yoga into entrepreneurship, all the things that you do. So guys, please look him up online or on Facebook. He has a lot of yoga workshops and all that he does. He's done one with our Atlanta chapter as well. And now that it's virtual, we are able to do more. So if you, as a chapter, if you're interested, please express the interest to me so we can set up something as a yoga workshop, or definitely even like an entrepreneurship workshop or something. He is located in California, but also has the center, the YEC center is in Dallas. So we can definitely connect with you. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat. Thank you so much, Srini.
Thank you. And I know I grossly simplified the medical terminology, but this is the level that I could understand, right?
But it's perfect. Thank you.
So awesome. And again, please, we are here to constantly share and further our ideas. And as I said, I'm particularly fascinated with this cultivating the entrepreneurial mindset in the youth, and based on yogic superpowers. And again, it's not about the toes, but rather it's about the mind, always pursuing the excellence. So if you're interested in partnering with our Entrepreneurship Foundation, please let Nilima and the team know, and we will make it happen. Yep. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you once again. And we appreciate your efforts in creating the awareness for the benefits of yoga in our community at large. I hope our EYAs will incorporate yoga as part of their daily lives. And yes, we will definitely reach to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll see you again. Thank you.